It's been 3 months since I started my Clueless to Cookout journey, where I challenged myself to go from knowing absolutely nothing about Kamado cooking to hopefully one day becoming a Kamado master. Have I reached master status yet? Definitely not. But if I watched one of my videos from 3 months ago, I honestly don't think I'd recognise the person cooking. Spending every day here, surrounded by these grills at KamaGear, asking questions, making mistakes, and cooking as much as I can has completely changed the way I think about everything. The funny thing is, it's not the big impressive recipes that have made the biggest difference. It's all the small fundamentals that I didn't even know existed when I started. So I thought it'd be interesting to break down the biggest things I've learned so far. Because if you're new to Kamado cooking, there's a good chance you've had exactly the same questions as I did. The obvious starting point is learning how to light the grill and control the temperature using the vents. It sounds simple now, but when I first started, I was constantly wondering how far should these vents be open, or how long do I leave them like that, and why isn't the temperature where I want it to be? Those little adjustments felt really intimidating at first, but after enough cooks, they've become second nature. I don't really think about them anymore. I just instinctively know what changes I need to make. Probably the biggest mindset shift though has been learning that you don't cook to time, you cook to temperature. When I first started, I'd constantly ask, how long does this take? Whether it was burgers, chicken, sausages, I just wanted someone to give me a time. Now I realise there really isn't one answer. Every cook is different and there are so many variables, from the size of the food you're cooking to the temperature of the grill itself. So there's never going to be a set cooking time. Instead, what really matters is temperature. Chicken breasts and burgers, for example, you want to reach at least 75 degrees, whereas fish only needs to reach around 65 degrees. However, you don't want to wait until the food reaches that temperature to take it off, because it's still cooking at that point. So you'd normally take the chicken off at around 73 to 74 degrees, allowing it to rest whilst it continues cooking up to the required temperature. The easiest way to do that is with an instant read thermometer, so you can get a precise reading every time you check. It's not just the internal temperature of the food that matters though, you need to make sure the grill temperature is right as well. In theory, you could have the grill at 350 degrees and get your food up to temperature in no time at all, but that doesn't necessarily mean it will cook well. The outside could dry out or burn before the inside cooks properly, leaving you with food that doesn't taste as good as it should. So instead of watching the clock and hoping for the best, I'm checking the temperatures instead. It's such a simple concept, but it's probably the biggest thing that's improved my confidence, because I know why the food is ready rather than just guessing. Another thing that genuinely surprised me was just how fuel efficient these grills are. I know this might sound like I'm trying to sell you one, but honestly this caught me off guard more than anything else. Only having used disposable barbecues before, or seeing other people use standard charcoal grills, I just assumed I'd need a fresh basket of charcoal every cook. Instead, once you finish cooking, you simply close the vents, the fire goes out because there's no oxygen, and whatever charcoal hasn't burnt is ready to use next time. I think a big part of that comes down to the ceramic itself too. Once it gets up to temperature, it holds the heat incredibly well, helping to maintain a really stable cooking environment throughout your cook. I've had the same basket of charcoal last through multiple cooks before needing to top it up, and that's something I definitely wasn't expecting when I started this series, at least not to this extent. The final thing that really stood out to me is the versatility. People always say Kamado grills can cook almost anything, and I used to think that was an exaggeration because surely it can't. But after actually using one, I get it. One day I'm grilling burgers, another day I'm spinning multiple chickens on the rotisserie, and the next I'm turning the grill into a pizza oven. And this can all be done on the same grill, just configured with different accessories. I think that is what's made the cooking feel more exciting rather than just repetitive. Every time I think I've tried everything, I find there's another way of cooking that I hadn't even considered. That is one of the best things about KamaGear Kamados, and they're probably the biggest takeaways from these first 3 months. I've realised this journey isn't really about becoming an expert as quickly as possible. It's about slowly building my confidence, learning why things work, making mistakes, and getting a little bit better with every cook. 3 months ago I was asking questions that now seem obvious. I can only imagine what I'll know 3 months from now. So if you've been following the series from the beginning, thank you for coming along for the ride so far, and maybe you even found it helpful. And if you're starting your own cookout journey, hopefully this proves you don't need to know everything on day one, and there's no singular correct way to go about it. You just need to light the grill, master temperature control, find what works for you, and get cooking. Let me know down below if you've got any more tips that I or other people watching may find helpful.